What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in alongside the weekly reset for Destiny 2, and it's the 30th of September, so we're getting closer to the next couple of pieces of content and updates for Destiny 2. However, this week, no update for the game, which is somewhat unusual based on how things have been over the past couple of months. As always though, we do have certain things refreshing, so we've got the Eververse store for the week, vendor inventories, and featured rewards available in the portal right now. On top of that, we can expect further communication from Bungie this week in one form or another, and it's very much going to be interesting to see what they say, with a lot of discussion about players quitting the game, including content creators. We'll focus on what we have got in the weekly reset though in this one. So if you enjoy the content and you want to stay up to date with all of the goings on, good and bad, then be sure to hit subscribe down below. That would really help us out as we approach 600,000 subs. Otherwise though, thanks for watching and let's get into it. As we mentioned, no game update this week, which feels relatively unusual given that Bungie have been pushing a lot of patches for the game. There will, however, be another one next week. So October 7th, we're going to see the arrival of the new exotic mission on the Plaguelands, and that will be interesting in itself, both in terms of how good the exotic axe is, how fun the mission is, and as always, potentially what breaks when they drop that piece of content. Otherwise, there are a few additional updates, mainly related to the sandbox that we'll get in the update next week. And Bungie have also said Arms Week will drop with the next weekly reset as well. Not this one, mind you, but it will mean if you're after the submersion crossbow, potentially you can get it dropped when Arms Week goes live on the 7th of October. Otherwise though, let's focus on the schedule for this reset. As we get into the game, we've got a pop-up here. Double bonus focus starts now. Apparently, double bonus focus guarantees your first bonus focus drop will drop twice in portal activities. I assume that actually means every single time you complete it. So if you've got bonus drops like these, 2 bonus drops, does that mean it becomes 4, I guess? That one becomes 2, I suppose? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. So certainly something to take advantage of, especially more specifically if you're farming for rolls, stats on armor, weapon rolls, things like that. You know, if it applies to this, you get 6 bonus drops, I assume. I could be mistaken, so I'll do a little bit of testing, but certainly worth a mention right there. It's a shame that Bungie haven't yet made all of those drops drop at the same power as your main chest rewards, because that's what they're going to be doing, I believe, in a couple of weeks' time with one of the other updates. So if this surge bonus rolls around again, that would be pretty awesome, actually, in terms of power leveling, at least giving players a bit more of the kind of progression that we want. But otherwise, for the moment, yeah, something to take advantage of. And I guess because they are bonus drops and they have the potential to be prime engrams, that's technically an increase to the prime drop rate. So, you know, it doesn't solve everything, won't make everyone totally happy or jump on the game immediately, but it's a reasonably good buff by the sounds of it, so worth being aware of that. I was kind of curious what featured drops would actually be up today. I'm still waiting to see the SMG, what is it, Seraphim Haze, featured from Pinnacle Ops. Haven't spotted that one at all. Let us know if you've been lucky with that, because I have not yet picked one up, but nonetheless, you can check those out in-game if you want to. Here though, let's preview the Eververse store for the week. Don't forget to grab your free Bright Dust. As always, there are things featured for silver. I'm not sure if this shader pack has come up previously, but there's some new shaders in there. We get a quick preview. Wow, that's a curious looking one. Not really advertising them as such, just curious to actually check them out, and now nothing's loading because we're flying in to the tower. Absolutely wonderful right there. We'll focus on Bright Dust items though. We have the Incorporeal Cat exotic emote from back in Echoes right there, so we'll have a quick preview of that one. Pretty cool looking thing if you've never picked it up. That one's up for 3,250 Bright Dust. We've got chest pieces from one of the sets featured this time around. 1,200 Bright Dust. These were the Witcher themed ones, weren't they, from back in the day? Otherwise, on the front page, there is the Digital Pet Shell exotic ghost for 2,850 Bright Dust. Very curious indeed. Otherwise, the no entry projection is up for 1,500 Bright Dust. And for the front page shaders, we have Petrified Opal, which certainly has some bright colors on it. That's actually new for this season, so that one's 300 Bright Dust. Otherwise, there is Transcendental Ambition available this week. Once again, quite shiny, sort of yellowy gold going on there, if you fancy grabbing it. Over to the main Bright Dust section though. Let's see what we get. Oh wow, the ornament for the Raid exotic, which of course I do not have. I guess it's kind of fitting given that was featured with the Epic Raid over the weekend. That one's up for 1,250 Bright Dust. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. Certainly different to the main skin for the weapon, I guess. Otherwise, there is the Coffee Break exotic emote for 3,250 Bright Dust. Right here, this is where the previews are going to start playing up. If you fancy a quick drop of coffee, might be beneficial. Otherwise, there is the Malware Caress, the chess piece from that sort of Vex network themed set for 1,200 Bright Dust this week, which is nice. Otherwise, there is the Witchweed Shell, something all of us would enjoy, I'm sure. Pretty cool looking thing right there from this season. That's 2,850 Bright Dust. Otherwise, there is Singular Condition, which is the sort of conditional finality themed set of items. These did sell for silver previously, but they're now coming up for Bright Dust, which I did cover in my Silver versus Bright Dust video. Shameless plug right there. 2,000 Bright Dust for that one. Otherwise, there is the Snarling Mask Sparrow right here, if we ever get it to load. Some of them are taking longer than others. I'm going to have to edit this bit out, aren't I? Thanks, Bungie. I literally had to go and change my character because it was just not loading and I was not getting into the tower. Haven't seen this one before. It's another new thing for this season, up for Bright Dust now. Quite a different looking thing, I suppose. Kind of cool with the red trail on it. That one's up for 2,500 Bright Dust. Once again, the ornament for Whirling Ovation. And then we have the Glimmerama projection for 1,500 Bright Dust. These things still very expensive. But for the second page of shaders, we have Flavido Core, sorry. As always, these are 300 Bright Dust. Additionally, there is Bloody Tooth available this week. Some nice red and black contrast going on. And then we have Trinity, which is another new one for this season. If you're into your sort of darker colors mixed with a bit of green, again, kind of high contrast. Kind of goes with that Pulse Rifle as well. Potentially quite a nice one there. Otherwise, there is Sinking Feelings, something we're all very accustomed to. So if you don't have that in collections, everyone should put it on. It'd be like a community meme, wouldn't it? We've got the Past on Earth though for Transman effects. These are 450 Bright Dust. We may as well preview them, of course, from back in the day mostly. There's also the Cabal entrance for the same cost, and very finally the Harpy entrance, which we'll preview again in case you don't have it from back in the day. So that's the Eververse store. I'm going to start flying into the tower before I run out of fuel again. See if we get there. I'll be back with you in a moment. I've come to take a look at Zavala's inventory for the week. We have some Aurora Dawn swords initially in the first 3 slots, so there might be some rolls that you like the look of right here. Let's have a quick mooch through them. This one has Flash Counter, Tireless Blade, Sharp Harvest, and you compare with Whirlwind Blade, Vorpal, and Binary Orbit. Then finally, right here, we've got Proximity Power, Flash Counter, Sharp Harvest, and then there is Cold Steel, Vorpal Weapon, Elemental Owning. So a couple of Cold Steel options right there, which folks may enjoy. Not too shabby. Keep in mind the rolls on these will change through the week, but this is interesting. These Vanguard Arsenal choices can be unlocked with Bright Dust. To unlock these automatically next week, and the Arsenal Expansion 1. Oh wow, so okay, this is because I didn't actually complete enough challenges last week. And you have the option to, I didn't even know this was a thing. This is the first time this has happened. There it is. Look, we got Rhyme Stealer, Cold Steel on that one. I just need to get better at the game, apparently. That's what you get for having a quiet week. What's this very final one then? Is this going to be the best one? We've got Rhyme Stealer, Flash Counter, Sharp Harvest, Whirlwind Blade, Vorpal Weapon, Elemental Owning. They're all just kind of variations of the same thing, but let us know what you'll be grabbing down in the comment section. I was just checking in to see if Banshee had anything of particular interest right here. Potentially a couple of useful weapons for any folks who haven't picked them up previously. This one, the Time Worn Wayfarer, does have Heel Clip Incandescent on it, if you like the sound of that on his Scout Rifle. Might be worth a quick grab. But certainly check in. It's nice that, at the very least, they've removed the kind of new gear bonus component affecting reward score and stuff like that. So, to an extent, that makes older stuff a bit more appealing. And we shall finish with a quick visit to Shader 1 down here in the Annex. Otherwise, you might get a little bit lonely. At least we can see what's available this week. We've got, what is this stuff? Lightkin, that's the one from back in Season of the Splicer, if you want to add that to collections for cosmetic purposes, or otherwise, I suppose. For shaders, though, we have Shadow Guilt available up first. These are 10,000 Glimmer. There's also Mercury Prophetic from the Curse of Osiris era right there. And finally, Dead Orbit camo if you're after older faction shaders. Wow, I'm struggling with the speaking this week, for sure. But for the moment, guys, that's what we have to cover. Like I said, next update will be next week, so we'll see what we get. We'll see what communications we have from Bungie this week. If you want to stay up to date with everything related to that, then be sure to hit subscribe, turn on notifications and all that jazz, and I'll keep you posted. If you found the video helpful, a rating very much helps me out on the channel as well. Otherwise, though, I thoroughly appreciate you tuning in today as I get teabagged by a colourful guardian in the tower. It wouldn't be the first time, my friend. Oh, that sounded odd, didn't it? Anyway, cheers for watching. I hope you have an awesome day.